This is the time my ambitions led to an unfortunate event. Actually, it was more like my stupidity, and it turned out to be a pretty funny story. We're still in English class. Anyways, this is me, and this is my dad, my mom, and my little sister. Together we are one big happy family. Fortunately, I'm what you call an adrenaline junkie, and I've always found myself getting into things that I wasn't really ready for, like the time I fell into the pool before I could swim. Needless to say, I wasn't the easiest kid to deal with. So it didn't come as much of a surprise when my parents found out that I really like to ski. Like, really like to ski. So during ski lessons, I was that one kid that would never listen to the ski instructors. Believe me, I've heard it all. Like the turn-ski stability and the fact that you can still go fast. Yeah, I know it. But if we're logically speaking, the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line. And that's exactly what I did. So whenever my parents saw a small child plummeting down the mountain like an oversized bullet, they could easily guess that it was me. That's a bullet, just trust me on this one. Alright, so in high school I had this friend named Marissa. And every winter vacation, Marissa and her family would go up to her ski house in New Hampshire and ski all week long. So naturally, when she found out that I liked to ski, she invited me up to her ski house for the week. And that was an offer I just couldn't resist. So that winter vacation, we all went up to her little house by the mountain. See, I've never actually heard of this mountain before, let alone skied it. But since Marissa has been coming here since she was a little kid, she knew the mountain like the back of her hand. She told me that the mountain had trails that were good for baby skiers and those who were extreme cliff divers. She also told me about a trail that she thought I might enjoy. It was basically a straight shot down. It was groomed to perfection for speed. This was also known as the racetrack. But before she took me onto the racetrack, she took me on a few longer and easier slopes so I could get a feel for the mountain before I attempted anything too crazy. It also helped because that day it was extremely foggy, and really all I could see was Marissa's shadow as I tried to follow her down the mountain. Or at least I think that's her shadow. Who knows? Anyways, every run that we went on, I made it a point to beat her to the finish, even if it meant that I had to speed up in front of her at the very last second. She caught on to that real quick and decided that the racetrack was where I belonged. So we went from the family-friendly trails over to the harder and steeper slopes. From the very top of the racetrack, I couldn't see anything. I took the time on my first run to make sure I found any surprise bumps or divots that may get in the way of me flying down that slope like I really wanted to. When I found that there were none for me to worry about, I decided to really enjoy what the trail had to offer. The rush was indescribable, to say the very least. So naturally, I went up again and again and again until Marissa got completely sick of me and this trail. But I think she was really just getting sick of losing to me. She has yet to admit that. She took me up the mountain and to a new trail, and I unexpectedly followed her, thinking that we still had a few more runs on the racetrack. Little to my knowledge, she had taken me to a mobile course. Now you see, at the top, it had the same exact view as the racetrack. A straight drop. Marissa insisted that I went ahead of her on this run, so I took the lead and thought nothing of it. Honestly, I don't remember the first few seconds of my doom. Later, Marissa told me that from the top, All she saw was my body fly up with all limbs flailing in search of some sort of balance. All I remember is that I fall with one ski on the trail and the other scraping the side of a mogul, sending that leg straight back into the air again. I did a split in the air. I'm not flexible in any way. With all hope lost, I decided that crumbling into a ball would be the only way to stop the mayhem that I was in. Sure enough, I finally came to a stop midway down the slope, stuck in a mogul. And a few minutes later, Marissa came down to rescue me. Sort of. Let's just say from that point on, I double-checked to see which slope we were going on.